What's up, Business Nation? Welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can join the Business Nation too, and you can live like no one else. So, like I said, I've given away tips and tricks on helping everyone improve their credit, their financial state, and their mind. So, jumping right into it, like I said, I don't like to waste any time. We're going to be talking about 5 credit tips for beginners that will save you money. Not only will this save you money, we also will improve your credit drastically. So, these are no matter what you do with your credit, no matter what game you're playing, no matter what play you're going after, if you stick to these 5 things, you will always maximize your credit usage and improve your credit score overall. So jump right into the very first thing. It sounds like common sense, but yes, pay your bills on time. It does sound simple, I know, but this is one of the most important factors in how your credit score is determined. Because remember what I mentioned before in my previous videos. If you haven't watched it, go check out how I break down the understanding of the FICO score. But 35% of your credit score, that's the biggest number. The 35% is based on your payment history. So if you have less than 100% payment history, you might want to get on top of that and fixing it. So one thing I will say, like I says, you never know what's going to happen with your creditors until you pick up the phone and make that call. You know, there's plenty of options out there for you to get improvements on your payment history if you already have previous late payments. You can always ask for forgiveness. There's all types of little loopholes and hacks here and there that you can do to get creditors to forgive that and report on time payments to help improve it. And of course, you can always go out of your way and pay somebody else to do it for you. But anyway, jumping right into the next one. Oh, actually, before I jump to that, one thing I want to add to that, so I'm gonna give you another bonus here. Is like, because most people don't realize that if you're renting right now, you can actually be reporting your rent or your telephone bill and things like that as to improve your payment history. There's plenty of places out there. I think I dropped some of them before, some of my previous videos, but for your rent specifically, I use rent reporters. Like I said, you can use Rental Karma. There's a few other ones out there as well too. So like rent reporters is one I use. They will ask for how much you're paying for rent, how long you've been there, then your landlord's contact information, and once they verify your banking information as far as if you're paying your bills or you're paying your rent continuously, they will verify your landlord. So they will reach out to your landlord and verify that yes, you pay this amount of rent, you pay it on time, and all that stuff, right? And then once they verify that, then you're good to go. And you can also pay an additional fee. I think it's like $35. You have to go and check them out, but you could pay extra $35, and they will update it faster. Because normally I would say it's probably going to take probably 30 days or so. So by the time your next billing cycle come back around, it will report, and they will go back 24 months. So that in itself, that's 24 payments, on-time payments added to your payment history. So there you go. There's one quick one there. But like I said, if you need any more pointers, you can jump back to some of my older videos, or you can hit me up on my IG. What's next? Okay, this is almost a no-brainer as well too. But some of you all are carrying balances on your credit cards. Now, carrying a balance isn't always bad, but the one thing you want to pay attention to is how much are you carrying on your balance. If you have a $1,000 credit limit, you don't want to be carrying $400 balance at the end of your billing cycle. You want to pay that off, or if you can't pay it off, pay it down as low as possible. So like I mentioned before, and for some of you all that are new here, is like you want to keep your balance below 10%, not at 10%, below 10%. Because remember, your credit utilization is 30% of your credit report. So that's your second largest one. So just these first 2 steps, you do just these first 2 steps, I guarantee you're going to see a dramatic improvement on your credit score just for those first 2. So remember, if you can't pay it down 30% or to 30% by the end of the billing cycle, just pay as much as you can. But either way go, if you pay that down, when you pay that down so much, you're going to see a drastic improvement. And like I said, and plus you're going to pay less interest, so it's going to be saving you money in the long run. So with this one, with number three is considering a credit card here. So creditors want to see how you manage your credit. So some people don't even have credit cards. If you're like me, I grew up with people always tell me credit's bad, it's the devil, it's evil, and blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? So I was a little bit late getting into the game with credit, but understand that lenders, they want to see that responsibility. So the sooner you start and using your credit correctly, the better off you're going to be when you get older. So right now, if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, you should be starting to build that credit history. But always remember, do not use the credit card as a replacement for money. So if you don't have the money, do not use that card. But what you want to do is you want to show them that you're credit worthy. That's the most important thing. And like I say, if you don't have credit because you're high school or just out of high school, you can use your parents as a co-signer or as a authorized was cheese authorized trade line or authorized user. So you if they have excellent credit and they've had credit for 10, 15 years, they can add you on as an authorized user. They don't even have to give you a card. They could just add you as an authorized user, and then you will absorb their credit history for that particular account, which will then boost you at least enough to where you can get approved for your own card, right? So, and that's something that you should be looking at as more of a boost to kind of help you jump into the credit game to start out. But keep that in mind. So you want to keep that. You want to be thinking about getting the revolving credit sooner rather than later, because credit history, so how long you've had an account, is going to matter so much, and that's something that you can't really cheat. You have to build that up over time. So you can't have a perfect credit score at 18. Yeah, I mean, well, maybe you can if your parents set you up with a credit card at 1 years old, but other than that, like I said, it's going to take time to build it. So by the time you hit 30, 40 years old, you would easily be in that excellent credit range with good behavior. You'd probably be a lot sooner than that, actually. But anyway, number four, second to last here, is don't apply for more credit cards than you need. I mean, that sounds again like a no-brainer, but some people just chasing credit, right? So you got to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind with how many credit cards you need. And first of all, for like an excellent credit range, I want to say the average person with excellent credit has on average about 5 to 7 credit cards, not five to seven accounts. They usually have closer to 15 total accounts, a mixture of everything. But credit cards typically at least 5 to 7. You don't really need any more than that, but you do want to show a wide range of lenders trusting you and showing that responsibility with your credit. Plus, the more accounts you have, the faster you can build that credit. So, like your payment histories, like I talked about, the first one is if you have 5 cards, that's 5 on-time payments every single month, compared to somebody who has 1 card, that's only 1 on-time payment every month. Plus, if you have less accounts, that means if you ever miss a payment, it's going to hit you harder than someone who has 10 credit cards. So if you have 10 credit cards and you miss one payment, that's still 90% of your payments on time for that month. Compared to someone who has 2 credit cards, they miss one payment, that's a 50%. So big difference. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these credit cards. And if you don't know credit cards to get, go take a look at some of the beginner credit card videos that I dropped to show you which ones you should be applying for. And I point out the cards that you want to keep long term, not ones that's to get you into the credit game. You want to pick the right ones from the beginning, so you don't have to deal with closing out or whatever you have to deal with trying to get rid of some of these bad cards. I didn't have all that knowledge going through this when I was younger, so I had to do everything through trial and error, which is why you all are getting this right now, so you can kind of skip over where I started and jump right into the best credit cards, best perks, and know how to identify that when you're looking at credit card offers. All right, 5, last but not least, is track your credit report. There's a lot of resources out there, annualcreditreport.com. Usually if you sign up, you can sign up directly through Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, and you can pay them, and I think all 3 of them offer membership for for a reasonable amount of price, where you can track all 3 of your major credit bureaus, so you can keep track of that either every month, quarterly, or however you want to take a look at it. Me personally, I try to track mine every single month. You have Credit Karma. They do use the Vantage score, which is kind of irrelevant because 90% of lenders use your FICO score. But Credit Karma is good for tracking what is going on with your credit report. So at least so you can see who's pulling your credit report and things like that. And what I would advise is once you get your credit score into that excellent or wherever range you're looking to get to, you need to freeze your credit report. So nobody can start pulling inquiries and identity theft. So none of that stuff. Like I said, that's my advice. You can do what you want with that, like I said, but I'm just telling you right now, you don't want to work so hard to get your credit to where it's excellent and where you can pretty much walk in and walk out with whatever you want from a bank or a dealership. You don't want somebody to be able to mess that up because it's going to take you. It's easy to mess it up. It's harder to build it up. So keep that in mind. And again, like I said, there's a lot of places you can go for free and get that information, or you can even sign up. I think most of these places, either it's one of the 3 major credit bureaus or some of these third-party companies, they offer trials you can sign up for like $1. So you can sign up for a trial, get your credit report printed for that month, cancel the trial before it renews for whatever they charge per year or per month, and then at least you have your credit report, and then you want to start taking a look at errors and things like that. So at least you know what your credit report is looking like. So that's the 5 tips I have. And the last thing I want to leave you with is how to keep your credit score healthy. So the best thing you could do to keep your credit score healthy is to pay your bills on time, obviously, and also be careful not to exceed your account limits. So some people have done this before, and that looks very bad. And I think even some cards will show as maxed out. Even if you're not even maxed out, you can be like 90% utilization, and it will still affect you just as bad as if you had a maxed out credit card. Not to mention if you've gone over your credit limit. So I say that doesn't look good. Where so like you got $1,000 credit card limit, and it shows that you've carried a balance of like $1,500. I don't even know how you do that. That's amazingly bad to be able to do that. Next is make sure that you are that you don't have any delinquent accounts. But if you do have any delinquent accounts, you need to be fighting that stuff. Like I said, I would say 80%. Don't quote me on this, but I might have to look at that. But I think roughly about 80% of people have errors on their credit report. So, and keep in mind, if you have errors on your credit report, you can fight that. Sometimes you can get that stuff deleted, get it corrected. There's lots of different options out there and ways you can approach that. So you want to study more about the CFPB. And I will probably talk more about that later, but like I said, I want to keep these videos nice and light and straight to the point. And like I said, I'll drop some more videos on more details on credit a little bit later once everyone kind of gets a better understanding of how to maintain good credit and get the behaviors down first. Because you don't want to jump into this game without having those behaviors locked down, because then you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're going to get a huge credit limit and you're going to abuse it, and you're going to tank your credit score. You're going to spend 10 years trying to fix that stuff, or paying thousands of dollars to other people fixing it for you. Okay, so anyway, so if you take these steps, you can get a higher and healthier credit score. And again, like everyone should know by now, it's like money cannot buy that. Like I say, once you work hard, you get that credit score where it's at. Remember to freeze those accounts. And like I said, I don't want to take up too much more time. That is all I had. I just want to make sure that everyone got some knowledge out of there. If I provided value, go ahead and show some love. Hit that thumbs up. And if you're not a part of the Business Nation, go ahead and subscribe so you too can join the Business Nation. And again, remember that success moves in silence. Peace.